A masculine man falls in love with you when you can engage his emotions, when you can make him feel something special in your presence, but also make him miss you in your absence. Think of yourself as a heady cocktail of many feelings and emotions that you naturally bring to the table as a feminine embodied woman. These are exactly the kind of feelings that a masculine man is craving to experience in your presence. Now, if I were to give you an example, I'd think of a really flat film where you sat there for 2 hours and felt nothing. Now, that is the woman that a masculine man will not fall in love with because she's not embodied in her emotions. You see, feminine energy is all about being in your body, being embodied in your feelings, being able to authentically express your emotions to men, and being able to lead in dating with your heart and your feeling space. Now, also think of a film where you sat for 2 hours, but you felt all of the feelings. So recently, my husband Chris and I, we saw the film Maestro with Bradley Cooper on Netflix. And oh my God, what a magnificent piece of art that film, and how it makes you feel all of the feelings. So you feel really excited for the couple, their love story, the passion in their love story. You really feel it with them. And then you feel the ladies' heartbreak and disappointment when things start to go awry in the marriage. At the end of the movie, spoiler alert, when she gets sick, both Chris and I remember feeling like so intensely sad about her sickness and the fact that he's going to lose her. Basically, that film is what we remember because it made us feel something. Now, it is very similar for you in dating. When a man is dating you, he has to feel stuff around you. That is how you are going to register beyond his functioning masculine brain, where a lot of the things simply don't register. You see, when you understand the differences between the genders and how differently men and women behave and relate in dating, you'll understand that men actually don't feel a lot of feelings all through the day like we women do. Men are more in their heads, they're more in their minds. And this is how they don't feel so often for the women that are not embodied in their feminine energy. And then these men will ghost, they will stop talking, they will stop texting and calling. And it's because the man is not bonding with the woman emotionally. So you always want to remember this example of the movie where you feel all the feelings is the movie that you remember and the movie that you give 5 stars to. And that's exactly the kind of experience you're looking to create inside of dating. Now, of course, you may be wondering, Sami, this sounds amazing. I totally get it. You know, men have to feel something in my presence. Now, of course, you can come at this from the masculine energy perspective of, I have to do this. Or you can come at this from the feminine energy perspective of, if I am just authentically in my body, if I'm just living through my heart space and dating while really holding my feelings as my guide, then the man who is meant for me will naturally be attracted to this. It's not like I have to go do something in order for men to feel something in my presence. It's just that I have to naturally be embodied in my feelings and my emotions. And a lot of the times when you have a lot of guys fizzling out on you, or you have the experience that you go on a hamster wheel of so many first dates, but nothing seems to last longer or stick longer for you, then it could be that you need to do more work on stepping out of your masculine energy and stepping into your feminine embodied energy, your body space, your lightness, your feelings, your heart space. Now, the good news is we teach all of this inside Elevate, which is my 6 months long group coaching program. It is enrolling currently. So if it calls you and you desire to work with us, the link is in the description below. Book a diagnostic call with a love specialist from my team, and we will be very happy to help you. So as I was saying, the number one way to inspire the love of a masculine man is to engage his emotions, and you do that by being in touch with your own feelings and living from your own feelings. And the more you can express your feelings in the dating process, the more you can express how something makes you feel, the more he is going to be tuned in to your feelings, and the more he is going to be tuned in to his feminine space and to taking care of you and making sure you're feeling well in his presence. It's actually one of the most powerful ways to make an impression in a masculine man's mind, where you honor your own feelings and emotions. The second thing that you have to remember when you're expressing your feelings and emotions, I think there's so much noise in the coaching industry today, and so many people are telling women to like express your feelings, express your feelings. And what this does often is that we end up feeling and sharing a lot of the negative feelings in early dating, which I would highly recommend not to do. You see, when we talk about being a feminine embodied woman, we do not mean that all your feelings have to be shared with men that you're dating, and definitely not all your negative emotions, because that would amount to dumping and venting, which is not a very high value way to show up for a woman who is embodied in her feminine energy. The good rule of thumb that I like to give my Elevate clients is go for like a 5:1 positive negative sharing ratio, which means that for every 5 positive emotions you share with a guy, for every 5 times you tell him, oh my God, that restaurant you chose was absolutely amazing. Oh my God, that idea is incredible. Oh my God, I love how thoughtful you are with your texts. Oh, that's so sweet you thought of me this morning. Oh my God, thank you for the flowers. They made me really happy. For all the times, 5 times you give these positive inputs to men with your emotions, your passion, your feelings, you are allowed to give 1 negative input. You're allowed to say once, that didn't feel really good. And I hope it's okay to say that. I don't want to make a big deal, but I think it's important you know this. And so often we get the ratio wrong. We're like 5 times negativity, 1 time positivity, and usually connections with masculine men are completely going to fizzle out if a woman is showing up in this way. So yes, engage a man's emotions by sharing your feelings, but be very mindful to not be venting, dumping, and to make sure that the relationship still has that positive energy to go from. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we are in romantic relationships is because we feel good around a person. We feel positive energy, we feel attraction, we laugh, we feel good. And so if we are not mindful of the ratio of the positive to negative, then it's so easy to turn masculine energy men off, because very quickly they start to feel not a positive hit in your presence. They start to not associate positive feelings with you, and that's not something you want if you want to inspire a masculine man to fall in love with you. Another way you can engage a man's emotions when you're being embodied in your feminine energy is when you are being a good listener. Now, listening is priceless. I teach deep listening in my 2 core programs. There is Elevate, where you can work live with me and my team for 6 months. And then there is Leap Into Love for single women. I teach deep listening and active listening in both these programs because I think it's such a lost skill. And it is so precious to men. Like, it's literally a gift to my husband when I can listen to him and listen to him without interrupting him. I always get this urge to jump in and either say something about relating with him, which is like, yeah, me too, I also feel this way. Or, of course, there's the urge to rescue, fix, solve, just bring the conversation back to me. I've been doing this for a decade now as a dating and relationship coach, so I can say for sure that I have been able to rein in these tendencies. And whenever I am attentive and mindful to the energy in which I show up around my husband, I can just see he loves it. He loves it that I can listen. He loves it that I can let him be a man in my presence, not fix, not rescue, and just listen in a non-judgmental way. I think high achieving women can have an issue with this, a challenge with this sometimes, because at work, especially when I look at the pressure and competition in corporate America, we are used to constantly nodding, constantly saying something, constantly making a conversation happen at the workplace. That's okay if that is what work needs. But I think once you come back home or you go on a date, you want to switch off that masculine performance energy, always jumping in, interjecting, interrupting energy, and instead go into your feminine and practice the art of listening to men. Last but not the least, and this is really critical, I just wanted to take a moment and make sure you have downloaded my brand new free masterclass, Get the Ring and Forever Commitment from a Man Who Is Your Match in the next 12 months or less time. In this training, I am revealing my entire step-by-step process that I take my VIP clients through, where I show you how to go from single to dating quality men, to mid-level dating, and all the way to the ring and forever commitment. I've been doing this for a decade. I've served over 15,000 customers across 90 countries of the globe. So you know you are in safe hands when you make 40 minutes to take a look at this training. The value of it is worth thousands because I've put my experience of 10 years inside it, but you get it for free. So just make sure you download it. The link is in the description below. So now we're talking about what else engages a man's emotions deeply, and it is the art of being able to accept a man for who he is, along with his mistakes and vulnerabilities. Now, here's the thing, when men make mistakes, and even empowered, great masculine men will make mistakes, they are already feeling bad about themselves. You know, when he forgets to call you and you make it a very big deal, he's already feeling bad in that moment. And so if as a feminine embodied woman, you can offer grace and graciousness and say, that's okay, I did feel a bit sad, but it's not such a big deal, so let's move on. There are so many other things that you get right, and I want to focus on that. That makes you priceless to a masculine man. Also, I remember just one quick episode from my own marriage where I'm really bad at maps and navigation, and so my husband is always the one navigating and doing the maps, and he always gets us to the right place in the most efficient way. But there was one time where I was really hungry, and then the navigation showed us one way to go, and I was like, honey, are you sure this is the right way? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. And then it turned out to be a dead end, and I was so hangry, frustrated. But I knew that he wanted to impress me. I knew that he wanted me to be happy, and I knew that he was already feeling bad for driving down the wrong lane. And so in that moment, I offered him acceptance for his vulnerability, for the mistake he made, instead of just going on, oh, you always do this, oh, I'm so hungry, oh, I told you. By the way, if you've been giving these responses, be kind to yourself. Everything I share with you, I wasn't born with these skills. I actually learned them. That's why I teach them. But the good news is you can become more mindful and you can become more aware through education. So one of the most powerful ways you can engage men's emotions and inspire love in the heart of a masculine man is by being an accepting, non-judgmental woman. Offer him compassion when he makes mistakes, and offer him love instead of judgment when he messes it up. And he will really remember you for that. He will really appreciate you for that. If this video was helpful, give me a quick like, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel. I love hearing from you ladies. And of course, if you would like to work with me in Elevate, then make sure you book a diagnostic call with my team. It's just 15 minutes and we will ask some quick questions to make sure it's a good fit for both sides. We would be very happy to get in touch with you and help you attract a great empowered masculine man or upgrade and heal your relationship and love life. See you next time. Lots of love.